The oldest nest ever recorded is the one built by gerfalcons 2,500 years ago on a cliff in Greenland. It survived 2 world wars, 103 glacial earthquakes, one of the tallest tsunamis in human history, and may have witnessed the fall of a 58-ton meteorite. But how did the birds create such a durable nest? Let's find out. It's hard to believe, but there were times when birds had no idea what modern nests should look like. Made from the branches? On the tree? Are you serious? Why would I need it when I can leave eggs in fallen leaves or just on the ground in a sunny spot? But over time, the climate changed, and the birds had to adapt and reinvent their nests, and the weavers made the biggest advances here. They don't just build shelters for chicks, they create weird architectural masterpieces. Check this out. Weavers' nests are really amazing. Seriously, if I didn't know that the birds did this, I would think a whole colony of some insects was busy here. But weavers got their name for a reason. They don't just build their nests, they essentially weave, knit, or sew it. To camouflage the nest well, birds use carefully selected leaves. Just like a professional tailor who won't work with bad fabrics, weavers know exactly what materials are right for them. Keep in mind, they also need to stitch the leaves together without needles and threads. Fortunately, evolution gave the weavers a long, sharp beak and ingenuity that even allows them to steal threads from human dwellings. But usually, they use more natural ingredients to build nests, like spider webs. Excuse me, have you seen my web? I have no idea what you're talking about. In addition to carefully selected wide, strong leaves, weavers also use grass, and sometimes over 1,000 strands of grass go into one nest. They have to be green and new in order to bend better. Moreover, after drying, such grass becomes quite durable. It's like concrete. When applied right, it'll harden and strengthen the house after curing. Though, as I said, the weavers find it important to make their nests not only reliable, but also camouflaged. You can understand them. When you're a tiny bird and there are many predators around, your chances to survive are slim, especially when it comes to chicks that can't even fly away. But a long time ago, the weavers had analyzed the situation and found out that the safest option is to place the entrance to the nest below. It's too easy to climb into the nest of any other bird, which rests on a branch or somewhere in a hollow. Not in this case. Scientists believe that the weaver family occurred in the mid-Miocene era. That is, they've probably been weaving their nests for 15 million years already. And if you haven't died out over such a long period, then you must definitely know your business. You can not only afford to build unusual nests, but also to invent a couple of rituals. Well, I don't know, like a housewarming? There are over 100 weaver bird species, mostly living in Africa and Asia, and males are most often the ones in charge of building nests. When the construction is complete, the bird announces it by flapping its wings and inviting the female to check out the work. Usually the female has plenty to choose from, almost like in the real estate market in a new district. Well, the weaver who failed to attract attention demolishes his nest or rents it out to other animals and starts building a new one. During one mating season, a male can make several nests but never become a parent. Probably frustrating to just give up on the work you put so much effort into, especially if you've done really well. No wonder other animals love to settle in weavers' nests. These structures might seem fragile, but in fact, in terms of strength, they're on par with good ceramics. Yes, you can break it, but it'll not fall apart from rain or a gust of wind. Bird nests can easily withstand even a storm, let alone some rain. They're designed as if all the birds are experienced architects accustomed to working in earthquake-prone regions. This is because birds have no room for error. If the nest turns out to be poorly fixed, built in the wrong place, or simply too fragile, the chicks may die. This means that the most important goal in the life of every wild animal will not be achieved. I wonder if birds know anything about reputation. Oops! What are we going to tell the others? We'll say Steve built it. In fact, once you know how durable bird nests can be, you start to wonder why people haven't used these technologies anywhere else. Turns out they actually did. At the dawn of mankind, our distant ancestors used mud brick, light, air-dried brick made of clay and plants. You see the connection? Most often they used straw because it can be found even in places without forests. In 9000 BC, dwellings made of such bricks were found in Jericho. Air-dried mud brick was the most common building material in ancient Egypt during the time of the pharaohs. It has many advantages. The mixture is not flammable, houses made of mud brick stay warm in winter and cool in summer, and they're also very durable. Seriously, such buildings have preserved for millennia, whereas wooden ones, well, they can last no more than a century and a half. Meanwhile, mud brick is still used today, It's used for construction just like ordinary brick, and there are still people living in many old mud brick buildings. There's even a whole city in Yemen called Shabam Hadramaut, where all the houses are built of such bricks, and about 500 of them are tower blocks. They rise only 5 to 11 stories high, but they were built in the 16th century or earlier, when humanity had no idea something like this could be done. But just as I thought that ancient people learned to build cities out of straw and clay from birds, I found something strange. The weavers also have their own cities, or something like dorms, complex nests where more than 100 bird couples can live at the same time. Each couple occupies its own chamber, and the whole building is very well designed so that some chambers stay cool during the day and stay warm at night. There are separate sleeping and breeding chambers, a ventilation system, emergency exits, sharp sticks at the entrance to deter predators. In general, everything you might need. Remember that weavers rent out their dwellings to other animals? They willingly allow other birds into large nests, usually in exchange for information about new food sources. If you want to live here, tell me where these berries grow. Over there. Thanks. Hey! I wonder what kind of relationship the bird neighbors can have. I mean, are they getting along, or are they more like people? Someone stomps too loudly, someone took someone else's grass without asking, or ate a worm from the common fridge. And you know, it seems like we are similar to birds in some respects. If the birds are getting along well with their neighbors, they live happily and even age more slowly. The opposite is also true. If there are conflicts all the time, stress works the same way for birds too. However, if you choose the right community, there is a chance to live in peace and tranquility for a very long time. But back to the nests. Do you remember that one which is 2,500 years old? There are real battles for it, as if it were some kind of castle in the Middle Ages. Gyrfalcons, who are not scared of cold, don't build nests. They use the ones built by other birds. Birds of prey only need to take a comfortable spot once, and that's it. They'll return there each year, again and again and again. Over time, you won't see branches and other material. The nest is covered with a solid layer of dirt and bird droppings. Does this bother the gyrfalcon? Why would it? The place is convenient and the chicks hatch here just fine. Moreover, there isn't much choice, so gyrfalcons are ready to fight for each nest like that, especially with strangers like peregrine falcons. You have to admit, it's difficult to strike a deal with someone when you're a bird of prey that urgently needs a nest. Now, if there was some kind of market in the animal kingdom where you could exchange goods and services. Okay, I wouldn't talk about it without a reason. Here's a fact. Parrots can trade. Both in laboratories and in the wild, many animals have been seen feeding their friends. But the African gray parrots went one step further and wrapped their heads around the concept of money. Well, they tried. Scientists taught birds to exchange metal rings for walnuts and then paired them up with partners who had no currency. And the African gray parrots began to transfer the rings to their friends so that they could buy treats too. A little more and these guys will start speculating on the stock exchange. Though it's not very clear how such behavior can benefit birds in their natural environment. Forests where African gray parrots live are not famous for their walnut markets, which accept metal rings as currency. Listen, can you lend me some money for 100 walnuts? I'll give it back as soon as I get my salary. But you don't work anywhere. See you later.